Good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, this morning's meeting was jam-packed. There was so much. I didn't get to deep dive the way I wanted to into the pace setters and what it has the opportunity for each and every one of you. So, this special recording is just for you to really give you the nuts and bolts and details about what the shockwave is because I would love for you to click the button, scroll down, type your information, get registered, and join us on this amazing experience. It's going to help us to have an audacious April, finish our final 3 months of the seminar year strong, and really catapult us forward into the new seminar year. Now, you might be thinking, all right, Mary, this is for me because I really want to grow and boost and do. Okay. Or you might be like, Mary, I'm not so sure it's for me. Really, I only want to make a couple $100 a month. Here's the thing. No matter whether you want to make a couple hundred or a couple thousand, it's for you because you're going to get nuggets and it's going to give you the momentum and the tools and growth. And you'll be running right alongside me. And I am here for you always. Now, here for you always also means if you don't do this, pace setters, you can still reach out to me. I still will help you every way I possibly can and work with you just as much as you want to work with me. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share a little bit about what this opportunity is going to offer us, um, what it has to, what it has, and how it can help you. All right, so let's begin. This is, excuse me, the little image, Shockwave Pacesetters, shock yourself. You're going to shock yourself with the results. And really, a shock wave, a huge tidal wave, doesn't start gigantic. It starts small and builds and grows. And that's what this is all about. This is just some of our amazing teachers. I have since learned that there are several more. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. Several more amazing leaders that are going to be popping in and doing additional trainings. Now, if you're thinking, okay, Mary, but it's April 4th, which means Leah Lachlan already shared, Melissa May already shared, it's already started. I've already missed out. You heard me say it this morning in the meeting, and that is this is like a 93-day course. And then, of course, beyond because we're building momentum. So even though we may be a couple of days behind, there is still so much to be learned. And you can catch up because it's in all these posts are in the Facebook group and we can actually get to rewatch them. I didn't get to watch Leah Lachlan on Monday. I had to watch her replay. And I stepped into Melissa May's partway through. So then I went back and I watched the rest of it over again. So you too can get caught up. It's not too late, friends. All right. Statistically speaking, and we talk about this all the time, fortunes and the follow up. And that includes sales as well as bookings, reaching out to people. Everybody has busy lives, and sometimes they miss your messages, they miss your phone calls, they even miss voicemails. And so, or they don't have the time right then to respond to you. And so, 2% of sales are made on the first contact. And I don't know the exact percentage for bookings and responses for things, but my guess is it's really similar, where 80% of them are made on the 5th to 12th contact. So we're going to learn about a 21-day booking challenge and really how to follow up properly. And if you're thinking, I don't have time, this is just a little breakdown per se, whether it's for you or somebody you're visiting with, we all have the same 168 hours in a week. So if we take 56 of them for sleeping, 40 for another full-time job, 15 hours for Mary Kay, there's still 57 hours for everything else, for your family, for yourself, if you delegate properly. So that is different for everybody, and everybody's weekly plan sheet can look a little bit different. Maybe you have 15 hours for Mary Kay. Maybe you have 1 hour for Mary Kay. That's totally up to you, and we can talk about that individually. But just know anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Now, this is the big one, and I need to kind of move a few things around so I can make it big on my screen. This explains so much about it. So, Shockwave, Shockwave Pacesetters, shock yourself. Shock, the description, is to astound, amaze, astonish. She was shocked to observe the quantum leap in her business after her 90 days Pacesetters. So, what is this? This is for friends, for all of you, for 90 days of growth, focus, and weekly training. It has IPA tracking, accountability, a community to build and grow, and cash prizes. So there is a Facebook group for it, and you can click this with your phone, use the QR code, or in just a bit, I'll show you another way to do it. What you're going to do is you're going to print out the consultant IPA sheet, the tracking sheet, and we'll go over that in just a bit. And you're going to record your daily points. I do encourage you to record it daily and find what they call stacking. Melissa Mays will go over this in her training, but basically, like, okay, when she's closing down her office at the end of the day, that's when she fills out her IPA sheet. When she is doing her Monday morning little group, that is when she remembers, oh, it's time for the group. It's time for me to enter my numbers for last week. So there are ways for you to stack it and remember things. You're going to submit points every Monday for your weekly recognition in the Facebook group and for that leaderboard. And then you're going to tune in on Thursdays from training from directors and nationals. Now, rewards, what do you have? What do they have to offer in this, right? Okay, check this out. There are weekly leaderboards to recognize consultants who do 15 or more IPAs and directors who do 35 or more IPAs. So that's right. Directors are doing this too. I'm doing it right alongside you guys, but my tracking sheet looks a little bit different than yours, and I do a little bit more in order to be on the leaderboard. To make the IPA, when you make the IPA leaderboard, you are entered into a weekly $100 cash giveaway that they're doing. They're giving away 4 $25 cash incentives, 2 $25 ones to consultants and 2 $25 ones to directors. So they'll take anybody on that leaderboard and they will randomly draw 2 people to get that cash drawing. Now, then they have recognition for everybody who has over a $300 week. They have 2 grand prize winners that are going to receive seminar registration for free. We talked about seminar this morning. It's so amazing. There's so much. It's such an exciting time. There's so much girlfriend time. There's inspiration, motivation, education, training. It is like the Grammys, the goodness sakes, the Miss America and Country Music Awards all together. That type of like, wow, there is so much there. And you're going to be into the drawing for a free seminar registration. If you make it at least 1 week throughout the program, you get entered. So, hostesses with at least 2, there's another drawing, and that's for your customers, your hostesses. Hostesses that have at least 2 guests and $200 in sales at their party are entered to win a $100 cash drawing. And they're going to have a $100 cash drawing for the hostess with the mostest. And that's the most party sales in the 90-day time frame. And that can be multiple parties. We talked about that before. So they might have just $200 or $400 parties, but when they have multiples of them, they could be that hostess with the mostest. Okay, so I want to explain to you what some of these standards may be as we move forward into the IPA sheet. What a new skincare customer is. Now, this may differ in the Pace Setter course than what we in the Believe unit and in our Boss Babe Saturday group would say, but they had to create something that just made it equal. So for the Pace Setter series, a new skincare customer must be new. A reorder cannot count for this category, but it can be counted in that reorder category. So it is counted. You must be at least a four skincare items, and we will allow any four skincare items to count. So if they do a basic, the 4-in-1 cleanser and the antioxidant moisturizer, but if they add an oil-free eye makeup remover and say the new skin barrier, that's four skincare products, which means that can be a new skincare customer. Body care, hand care, lip care, and sun care items are not going to count for this. Now, if it is the new Miracle set that has the day one that has sunscreen in it, that does count. Okay. That's part of skincare. Now, new leads. This is a name doesn't count if you don't also have a phone number. So if she only gives you an email, that cannot count for a new lead. Simply passing out your business card without obtaining their phone number and their name does not get to count. Now, if you haven't yet been doing that and you're not ready for that, you can work up to that. Remember, this is momentum. So maybe your first week looks like just handing out business cards, but not getting their contact information. And the next week you start getting their contact information. We're growing into it. Any leads and referrals under the age of 18 do not count. Birthday leads on Facebook only count if they accept a spa pack or a sample pack, something that you're giving them. So if you're sending out the birthday messages like I shared before, where I am wishing them a happy birthday and giving them a little gift, and it's a gift of a link about, I can share that more. But if I'm giving them just this little blessing and I haven't yet moved them forward and offered them a pampering package, that doesn't count. But that is part of my decision to build that relationship, give them that. And when they respond back and thank me, then I can also offer them their sample packet and their spa packet. That would make them a lead. If somebody is tagged on Facebook and you can send her a message, then they are going to allow that to count. Coaching a booked session. You can only count 1 point per session. So if you coach her 4 days that week for her party on Friday, you'd only get to count it once. But don't not do the coaching that you need to do. So if you know you need to follow up with her on another day, do follow up with her. You just can't count it on this form. Personal guests to an event. This can be an in-person or a virtual event, as long as marketing is shared and she has a chance to make a decision about the opportunity. The guest must stay to hear the full marketing. So on Tuesday for our event, your guests will count to an event when they stay for the whole time. And then we get to follow up with them and share. Well, actually, it's just staying there and she has that opportunity because we're going to offer it to her. The share call follow-up is the next part. You can only count 1 point per prospect, regardless of how many times that you follow up with her. Okay. But if she's on Tuesday and then we follow up with her, you get to count her in both of those categories. How awesome is that? Group beauty sessions with 3 or more in attendance. This can be virtual or in person. An individual consultation must take place, no matter whether it's virtual or in person. There is no individual consultation if there is no individual consultation and you've got 3 or more guests, then it doesn't count. You need to do the individual consultations with them, the individual closings. At least 3 guests must be 18 or older, and they are not requiring a sales amount, but it's important to work towards that $300 or more in sales at group events. A facial. What does and doesn't count as a face? A facial or a face is having someone new try the product who has never tried it with you before. If they are an existing customer, it doesn't count as a face because they're not a new customer. But the sales, again, count in that reorder category. An individual consultation must take place, whether it's virtual or in person. You've still got to do that individual consultation with them. Sending samples to someone does not count as a face unless 1, she tries them, 2, she gives feedback, and 3, it results in a sale. Unless all three of these requirements are met, it does not count as a facial. Customers watching a Facebook Live do not count at all as a face. Reorders do not count as a face. And doing satin hands or any other isolated products with someone does not count as a face unless all three requirements are met. She's new, she fills out a profile card, and she makes a purchase. Total retail sales do not include your tax, because some people don't have tax, and that's something that is totally separate from the retail that is tracked for all of our Mary Kay stuff. Discounts, it does not include discounts applied. So don't include the retail value of the products, but the amount collected. Value of the deluxe minis or samples. So if you're adding something to it, you don't get to add that on. And only include the amount of the money you collected from your customer minus the taxes. So that kind of clarifies that the second one. I was honestly a little confused as I read it because it says total retail sales do not include. They do not include the discounts that are applied. But it says you need to only include the amount of money you collected from your customer minus the tax. So for those 50% off deal sheets, if somebody orders a $20 item that is on sale on that deal sheet for $10, you are including the $10, not the $20. So we're all done with the little rules. And now I want to show you how it breaks up on this. And I'm going to zoom this in a little bit and pull it down so that you can see how this will work. So I know that today is the 4th, but for ease of being able to look at each one of these and come across, I'm just going to look at the 1st here. So if I have a group beauty session with 3 or more in attendance today, following the rules that we already talked about, I'm going to put a point. I'm going to put a point for a facial that I did. You get a point for every $100 in new retail sales. If she's not new, that goes over into the retail, the $200 retail in reorders. And this can be from multiple people. So if I have somebody who orders $55 and then I have another person who orders $150, that is $205. So I get 1 point. New skincare customers, 10 leads. New leads, remember, it needs to include the phone number. 10 booking attempts, reaching out and trying to book in them. 1 point for every 10 that you do. A new booking within 30 days. That is to be held within 30 days. So if I reach out and my friend Sue says, sure, Mary, I'll book with you. You know, I'm super busy right now and I have a lot going on. But let's get together on Memorial Day weekend. Well, friends, that's the end of May. That's beyond the 30 days. Coaching a booked session gives me 1 point. Doing a sharing call, a live conversation gives you a point. And so after, well, let me finish the next one, a personal guest to an event, and they stay on for marketing. So on Tuesday, if I have Sue join me for that event and she stays on the whole time, I'm getting a point here. And then if I follow up and I do a live conversation and like a curiosity chat, sharing call about the opportunity, then I get another point here. There's a sharing call follow-up. Again, this is a live conversation. And this may be me as your director following up with things too. Or it might be where she says, let me think about it. And you say, great, you know what? Why don't you think about it? Do the sleep test. We call it the pink pillow test. So if you think about it and you wake up in the morning and you're still thinking about it, then maybe it's for you. And you follow up the next day, or you guys agree to follow up after her busy weekend. Then you get that follow-up one. A new team member gets a point, and a qualified team member gets 3 points. So each day I have one of these columns to go across here, and I'm going to enter my total points here. And there is two sheets. You can print them back to back, or you can have two pieces of paper where it shows 1 to 16 and 17 to 31. All right. This is the second side. It's the same as the first. It's just the last half of the month. So I'm going to stop my share for just a moment as I pull up the next little thing that I wanted to share with you guys. And please reach out if you've got questions for me. Reach out and let me know. And this Leah Laughlin is going to be sharing more about on um, her video that you are going to watch, okay? But I want to share it with you guys so that you can see. This is Leah's 21-day booking challenge, and this really breaks down. I love a lot of her stuff. Here she again talks about that fortune in the follow-up, but she breaks down and explains, and she does an amazing job of explaining in her video how the 21-day challenge works and what she does and how it rotates. But she also gives it to you here in print format so that you can share. Now, I will show you in just a minute. I personally love my 21-day tracker over hers. It's a personal preference. I've printed out everything but this little bit, but these are her groups, and she gives you 2 pages. You'll print as much as you want. And then she gives you scripts for the connections, scripts for contacting referrals, and scripts for contacting leads from facial boxes or events and things like that. Okay, so this is an amazing little thing, and I'm going to stop my share, turn my video back on. When I'm using something like that, I turn my video off so that it gives the best quality. I personally love this tracking sheet. So it's totally up to you. But the reason I love this is because it allows me to have her name and phone number, the date in which I'm making the first the contact, the second and the third, gives me room for notes. And here I can make note whether I left a message, I got her booked, it was a no, or she called me back. So it allows me to see more clearly. There is so many different ways of doing it. I know that I have it right here, but it's not handy enough to grab. Amber Town talks about using a bubble sheet and how she does a little highlight. She uses highlighters and she highlights a square around it, but it's centered to say that she reached out, and she tracks how she knew them, whether it was Facebook, Instagram, text message, what she did for her follow-ups. There's so many different ways. And so if you are unsure, then visit with me and I will share. But Leah does an amazing explanation of all of that in the Facebook training that I would love for you to be a part of. She's also going to explain, and I'll share with you, this awesome layering sheet. There's just a wealth of information. And if you are overwhelmed, please note you don't have to do all of these things, but they're sharing tools, and something might be shared that I've never shared before that you go, wow, that's what I need. And so I love this little one that Leah also talked about. And this is her layering sheet. So when somebody books with her, she puts her name here. And then she knows, has she done a skin analyzer app? What's her goal if she's a hostess? All right. Did I coach her? Do I have her guest list? She loves the products. She might even, I think this is where she takes note of what she's going to working towards for free. Have I invited her to a guest event? Have I done a video or recording survey, shared the opportunity? Is she in my customer Facebook group? Did I send her a thank you card? Did we have that live possibility chat? How about the perfect show? Actually, this must be where she puts what she's earning for free, the total sales from her party, and whether she recruited her. So it's just there, like I said, it can be very overwhelming that there are so many different options. And that's where you do not need to use them all, but you can use what is stands out to you and what you go, wow, that's it. Okay. One, I have two more things I'm going to share and then I'm done. Thank you so much for sticking with me. This, Leah also had created. I think it was Leah. It might have been Melissa. I actually am wrong. It was Melissa. This is actually the company's hostess plan, but she's added a little bit more. And she will explain this in detail. I'm not going to go over it. Before I listened to her recording, I was like, ooh, don't want all these things. Going to take away this, going to change this up, change this verbiage. And then I listened to her recording and I was like, mind blown. I see it now. I just didn't get it from that. I also hadn't looked at the rest of her stuff. This is her little her hostess packet that she sends, okay? So it gives her all the information, shares about the recruiting, and allows for outside orders. It's phenomenal. You guys, like I said, you're going to see so many different things, and some are going to stick and you're going to want to do, and some you're not. And that is what is supposed to happen. Now, finally, last but not least, and then I'm going to end, I'm going to share with you guys, and I will make sure that it is in the comments to this video, this link to our pace setters, because this is the page you're going to want to go to. We want to invite you to join us for SHOCKWAVE Pacesetters, where you're going to shock yourself. You're going to have some amazing results. This is the information I went over at the beginning. Here's the important part. Please fill out first and last name, phone number, email. This is where you're going to get paid. So make sure that you put your Venmo ID or your PayPal so that when you win the cash, you get paid. Let them know that you are a consultant, and we are in the Mary Kay National area. We're not affiliated or adopted by one of these national areas. Okay, so that's what we want to do. And you want to click submit. Now, that's the first part, and so important to click on that and get submitted. And then you probably want to come right back to this page if it takes you away from it. So you can click the request to join the SHOCKWAVE Facebook group. That's where all the videos are going to be. They're live in there and they're going to remain in there. This has your IPA. Yours is actually going to be the second one. And this is the same that you're going to save. So you probably actually just want to save this web page, because every Monday, this is where you're going to fill out your points for the leaderboard. Your name, phone number, email address, that you're a consultant. You put my name, Mary Robeson, as your director, or if you're watching this from another group, you're going to put her name in there. And then you're going to let them know again what national area you're affiliated with. Now you might be thinking this is redundant. Well, this is the one that's coming to them every single week. The very first one you did is just a one-time thing. So make sure that you fill out here. And then this is going through your totals. So your total IPAs from your sheet on the very far side from the 7 days, Monday through Sunday. A little bit different than most of our stuff that goes Sunday through Saturday, but they didn't want you to need to be filling this out on a Sunday. So your total IPAs, you're going to let them know what your total sales for the week were, minus any tax and minus any discounts. Let them know, did you have a hostess this week who had 2 or more guests and $200 in sales at her party? Please enter her name and the total party sales here. And then you'll hit submit. And these next ones down here are some of the stuff that we went over. So without further ado, thank you for giving me a little bit more of your time and letting me explain why I am so excited about this Pacesetters and what it is going to do for our Believe unit and for those units that are doing it with us. So have an amazing day. Happy Easter, my friends. I am so grateful and blessed, as are you, blessed that the Lord Jesus gave his life for us so that we may live. Have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye, everybody.